Hi everyone, we've got a bounds question here now. Let's have a look at this one. So it says A is equal to P minus Q over T, where P is 8.4 to two significant figures, Q is 6.3 correct to two significant figures, T is 0.27 correct to two significant figures. Work out the upper bound for A, show you're working clearly, and give your answer to one decimal place. Okay, now let's have a little think about this. Well, first of all, let's do our bounds for each of the respective elements. So P we have got is equal to 8.4. Okay, so let's consider our upper and lower bound for that one. So it says that it's given to two significant figures. Okay, so let's think about that, and we're going to think about this figure here, and we're going to divide that by 2, and we're going to add it on to get our upper bound. So our upper bound is going to be 8.45. Okay, so I'll put UB for upper bound. Our lower bound is going to be 8.35. So that's our lower bound for P. Q we have got is 6.3. So our upper bound is going to be 6.35 and our lower bound is going to be 6.25. So upper bound, lower bound, like so. Okay, that's fine. And then let's think about T. Is going to be equal to 0.27. Now notice that they've said that the bounds is to two significant figures. So we need taking this second significant figure here, and we're going to halve it and add, well, imagine we've got 1, halve it and add that on. So that's going to be 0.275 will be our upper bound, and 0.265 will be our lower bound. Okay, so that's our first step. We've got all of our bounds there. Okay, so that is, yeah, that's good, 0.265. Now, notice that the expression that we've got is, we've got to work out A, and it is P minus Q over T. And they want us to find an upper bound. Okay, now, when you're taking two things away from each other, let's have a little sketch to illustrate what we're talking about here. Okay, so we've got our P value, and we're going to take away the Q from it. Okay, so what have we got? Which one is bigger? P is bigger. So let's say that's our P and that is our Q. Now we've got here our upper bound for P and our lower bound for P. And here is Q, and we've got our upper bound for Q and our lower bound for P. Now, when you want an upper bound for a quotient, okay, that means that you need the biggest thing in the numerator. So we want the upper bound of P take away Q, and we want the smallest thing in the denominator, because that's how you're going to get the biggest answer. So when you've got a fraction where you're dividing it, or quotient, you need to have the smallest thing in the denominator, because remember, when you divide by a small number, that gives you a big number. So we need the lower bound in the denominator and the biggest thing in the numerator. So here we go. Let's think about this. How can we get the biggest value of P take away Q? And I think you can see from this sketch here that we're going to have the biggest value of P take away Q when we have the upper bound for P and the lower bound for Q. Okay, so let's look and see what that's going to be. Our upper bound for P is 8.45 and our lower bound for Q is going to be 6.25. So therefore, we're going to have 8.45 for our upper bound, take away 6.25 as our lower bound. And that gets divided by the lower bound of T, which is 0.265. Okay, 0.265. Now, when we work that out, that turns out to be, what does that turn out to be? It turns out to be 8, well, let's just work it out. Let's work it out. So it is going to be 8.45, so 8.45, take away 6.25, divided by 0.265 rather, and that gives us 8.301. So 8.301. We've got to give the answer to one decimal place. So A is equal to 8.3 to one decimal place. Okay. Now, what else could I add to this question? The other thing I would add is sometimes you see them talking about giving your answer to a suitable degree of accuracy. So if you see this expression, in a bound question, give your answer to a suitable degree of accuracy, what you have to do when they say that is find the upper bound of the answer, find the lower bound of the answer, and then you state the degree of accuracy that they both agree with each other to. So for example, let's say we'd found that an upper bound was 4.2, and we'd found that the lower bound was 3.9, okay, for example. Then to a quote unquote suitable degree of accuracy, then let's say if we try and give these to one decimal place, they're totally different to each other. But if we take one step back and we give the answer to one significant figure, both of those are going to be 4 to one significant figure, because 4.2 would round to 4 and 3.9 would round to 4. So the answer in this example that I've made up to a suitable degree of accuracy would be 4. Now they haven't said that in this question, but just be aware of this because it's super popular with examiners, okay? That idea about a suitable degree of accuracy. Excellent. Okay, if you found this video helpful, if you could remember to subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe, that's going to help me to keep on making more videos for you moving forward. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.